Philly, this is why I love my city, because we launched a brand new Sixers channel about 3 weeks ago here at Chat Sports, and already more than 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed already, do so right now for the best Sixers news and rumors here on YouTube. We're diving into the latest Philadelphia 76ers news and rumors, and of course, we're once again hitting Ben Simmons because there's nothing else to talk about during this crazy, hectic, and very important offseason for Philadelphia. We knew last week that, according to a report, that Ben Simmons had cut off all communications with the Philadelphia 76ers organization, but a bombshell report from Kendrick Perkins of ESPN on The Jump on ESPN came out yesterday when Kendrick Perkins said this: Ben Simmons, not only is he dissatisfied with everything going on between his relationship with him and the Sixers, but he is willing to not report to training camp and doesn't want to report to the Sixers until he is sent elsewhere via trade. And of course, the offseason jump shot videos already coming out on social media with Ben Simmons knocking down some trey balls, hitting some elbow jumpers. But in all honesty, the real ones know that these videos have been coming out over the last few seasons, and Ben Simmons, when it comes to game time, he's too scared to shoot the rock. As for that report from Kendrick Perkins, I actually take stock in this because Perkins is plugged in to everything that's going on in the NBA right now. I think he's been doing a great job as an analyst. He had this to say to Rachel Nichols: Ben Simmons is not answering the phone calls from Philly. He doesn't want to be with the Sixers. And from what I heard, he's willing to not report to training camp and will go as long as it takes for him to get out of Philadelphia. At the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. And I've been a firm supporter of Ben Simmons, but you can't defend him any longer. He's not built for Philly. And this is a city that I hail from. This is a city that I love. There have been athletes who haven't been able to endure the pressure cooker that is the city of Philadelphia. It's simply a city that is a little bit different. And when the pressure gets turned up, some athletes simply can't handle it, and Ben Simmons cannot handle all of the pressure that has been thrown upon him because of his lack of showing up during that second-round series against the Atlanta Hawks. But this is Ben Simmons' own fault, because the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, has shown love to Simmons over the last few off seasons, really since he was drafted number 1 out of that 2016 NBA draft. The reason why fans and the organization now, Joel Embiid, Doc Rivers, and Daryl Morey, are frustrated with Simmons is because they see the potential that he has. Yes, he's developed over time into a first-team all-defender. Offensively, his vision in the open floor at 6'10", absolutely special. He's worked on having better touch and hook shots around the rim. But the one thing that's held his offensive game back, which has negatively impacted the Sixers offensively as a team, which is a big reason why they've gone out in the second round 3 of the 4 postseasons, because Simmons didn't partake in that playoff series against the Celtics last year in the NBA bubble, is because Simmons is a complete liability late in games, and his refusal to shoot the rock has caused the Sixers to just completely falter late in games. That's Ben Simmons' fault. And if he can't accept the truth, then get him on out of here. Your one-word reaction to describe Ben Simmons' tenure in Philly. Philly, show out in the comment section. Get those one-word reactions in the comment section down below. My one word: very, very frustrating for some of the reasons that I did talk about, because you see everything on display with Simmons. The size, the athleticism, the passing ability that really reminds you of a guy like Magic Johnson. You see him develop his defensive game and become a first-team all-defensive cat, a guy who I thought should have been the defensive player of the year ahead of Rudy Gobert. But unlike Giannis Antetokounmpo, unlike Jaylen Brown, unlike some of these developmental projects who were drafted high and looked at as very intriguing prospects coming out of either the G League now or college, those guys work on their deficiencies. Those guys work on their weaknesses. Ben Simmons has flat out refused to do that, and that's a reason why his game has a clear ceiling. But given the embarrassment that he went through, getting dragged on social media for 48 hours after that playoff series against the Hawks, in which he attempted 4 shots in the fourth quarter in all 7 games, I've never really seen an athlete go through a brutal stretch like that on social media. Is Ben Simmons embarrassed enough to improve this offseason? Once again, It's another offseason of hashtag Ben Simmons jump shot season, SZN, and we're seeing him work on his outside shot. He's playing pickup, knocking down some pull-up threes, some step-back threes, as well as some of those elbow jumpers. The problem here is we've seen all of this circulate throughout social media the last few off seasons, but when it comes to the regular season and the playoffs, Ben Simmons has been allergic to attempting shots. But is the embarrassment that he had to endure finally going to force him to improve and expand his offensive game? Possibly. Unfortunately, though, for Sixers fans and this organization, we might see the best Ben Simmons, because I think he's a jump shot away from becoming a superstar, elsewhere on another roster, which is really unfortunate because there was so much patience that fans exuded for Simmons to fulfill his potential, wasn't able to do it in Philly. Speaking of him going to another team, over the weekend, I was just cooking up some trade ideas because I couldn't stop thinking about it, and we're bringing you the best Sixers news and rumors right here on our brand new Sixers channel. I came up with this trade idea, and I have another trade idea that I want to get to. I think this trade works out for both parties. The Cleveland Cavaliers get Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, I like his shifty offensive game, Paul Reed, B-Ball Paul, who showed out in the G League last year, and Isaiah Joe, who I think is going to be able to become a consistent knockdown shooter from deep. In exchange for that deal, the Sixers get back Collin Sexton. I like him as a creator. Isaac Okoro, a very good 3-and-D guy, and Kevin Love as a salary matcher. Now, I think a restructure of his contract would have to happen if you get him on a veteran minimum deal. I even like it more so for Philly because he can be a stretch 4 or 5. But let's focus in on Collin Sexton because he gives the Sixers what they don't currently have in Ben Simmons, a guy who can create. He'll shake you down off the dribble. He can score at all three levels. He can expand his game to the offensive arc. And I really like his confidence offensively. And I'm thinking of a backcourt that consists of Tyrese Maxey, who had a great summer league game, showing out in Las Vegas on Monday, and you pair him up with Collin Sexton. That's a backcourt that I think you can continue to grow with. And for Sexton, you're getting a guard back who can average around 24 points per game and knock down some threes to give Joel Embiid some space to maneuver down low. My second trade idea, it's a player-for-player swap. Kings get Ben Simmons, team him up with Davion Mitchell, who's off to a good start at Summer League, as well as Tyrese Halliburton, Rashawn Holmes, a former Sixer, and some of the other young pieces on that roster, including Buddy Hield, and the Sixers get back De'Aaron Fox. I like Fox a little bit more than Sexton, but they're both similar players. Fox, a lefty shooter, Sexton, a righty. But Fox's numbers last year, very, very good for a young and ascending player, and I think he fits better on this roster than a guy like Simmons, and I do like him, once again, more so than Sexton. 25 points per game. I like his creation ability. I think he can become a better and more consistent knockdown shooter from deep. But the salaries match up here. The Kings are able to get a star player. The Sixers get an ascending star and a better fit. So which trade idea do you like the best? You can be honest with me. Get into the comment section. If you're new to us here at Chat Sports, we're a very interactive YouTube channel. A big reason why we've been able to grow, and we have more than 260,000 subscribers on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, is because we like to involve you in our shows and allow you to sound off. Which trade idea do you like the best? Type 1 or 2 in the comment section down below.